Hello, I'm Chris Van Dusen. I'm the creator of Bridgerton.
My name's Golda Rosheuvel and I play Queen Charlotte.
I'm Adjoa Andoh. I play Lady Danbury.
I'm Ruth Gemmell and I play Lady Violet Bridgerton.
I'm Polly Walker.
And I am Bessie Carter, and we are
chatting
to Cosmopolitan UK.
about all things Bridgerton.
Season 2.
I need you to teach me how to read that out loud.
Byron? Did I strike you much harder than I realised earlier?
There is a pleasure in the pathless woods.
Ooh.
There is a rapture on the... How does one make that sound good?
I read the first book when I got the first script, just to get a sense of it, and I read it on holiday with my parents, which was not a good idea. And and then I didn't read any more because I wanted to just stick to, because I think they are quite different, I hear, from all the book fans. So I was like, well, I don't want to know what the books are because then it will confuse what we actually do.
And I think our characters have been embellished and built, you know, they're sort of treading quite a different sort of path to the books.
Regardless of which young lady I'd chosen to pursue, there would have always been some obstinate father or meddlesome aunt in the picture. I shall certainly not let some sister, especially one younger than me, keep me from getting what it is I want.
Whom you want, you mean? Is this still a friendly match, or do we need to find some armour?
It's interesting because I think with the books you have a different story in each book, and I think that's the same with the Bridgerton, the TV show, the series. Because, you know, yes, we do have a brilliant ensemble. We do have the core pack of players, but at the centre is a different love story. So, you know, last season was Reggae and Phoebe. This season it's Johnny, who plays Anthony Bridgerton, trying to find his love match. So it feels new. And it feels bright and shiny again.
Because it was new, but we were sort of familiar with the world that we were now in. We could hit the ground running with confidence. And there's a sort of a fizz and a speed and a bravura about season 2 that is slightly amped up from season 1. Because there's a swag and a confidence about it as well, which means that you can go deeper into sorrow, into grief, into loss as well as go deeper into fabulousness and conflict and romance and all of that.
With the success of season 1, I think it raised expectations on the show in a really natural way, and I think it certainly raised our profile going into season 2. I think, you know, it wasn't such a bad thing as far as the pressure. I think the pressure has always been onto this show. The books that the show's inspired by are beloved. Fans across the world feel so strongly and passionately about these characters, and the pressure worked for season 1. I think it worked for season 2, so I always say bring on the pressure.
You know, the state of the world overtook that shiny, lovely reward. It felt like a bonus, didn't it? It wasn't like it just felt like a bonus. Like, oh my God, that's amazing that they also like it. So I just was thrilled to actually have a job, because those are my other acting pals. You know, I didn't have the security of going into a second season of something, and I just felt for them, and I just felt incredibly grateful to have a job.
Yeah, and I think it's never helpful to focus on past successes. I think it's always good to concentrate on the work,
the present.
Just remember to breathe on.
I'm so excited about this season's musical playlist. I think there's a Robin song, Dancing on My Own, that plays at a pivotal moment at a certain point in the season, and that's a personal favorite of mine. She's a personal favorite artist of mine, and that song is just so beautiful and painful at the same time, and the moment it scores is perfect because there's just so much angst and longing and passion, and I think that's a large part of this season, and I think why audiences are going to respond to it and love it so much.
Yes, it has been a difficult time indeed. Darkness has been our candle in recent months.
Have you come unaccompanied? Or has the new heir finally come to manage this unsettled business of your daughter's dowry?
Unsettled.
Didn't we have a game of, what, Balls? Something
Balls.
like that, which neither of us were very good at, were we?
But I'm meant to be quite good at in the things. I sort of get them all down in the game, and I'm like, yes, but obviously they're not going to wait patiently on a filming day for me to actually get them all down. So the props guys had a rope which they sort of put around the pins, and then when I threw it, they all pulled it, so it looked like in the camera shot that they all fell over.
Of course, Your Majesty, but remember, a young lady cannot be a diamond until you anoint her as such.
I think just that thing of navigating your way around a corset for 14 hours a day, special skill. Honestly, it makes you take your hats off to women from all those eras where corsets were the law. Their everyday lives, pregnant, not pregnant, old, young, washing your front doorstep or being served tea. It's a thing.
I mean, you've got corset, then you've got the dress, but then there's gloves, there's a ring, there's jewellery, there's
a lot
necklace,
of accessories, aren't there? Then the hair accessories.
Yeah. So it piles on.
Yeah.
So many flowers, when what I really seek is a gem.
Oh, so soon, Lady Danbury.
I think like many productions obviously shut down because of COVID, and we did shut down during one of the balls, and I think we filmed that ball like 4 times. We went back to that same ball and that same costume, and we never wear the same costume twice, so it was really weird to then actually put back on the same costume like 4 times because we kept
it was the ball that never ended, basically.
Yeah, the hell ball.
The hell ball. Yeah.
The cursed ball, that's actually what we kept calling it, was the cursed ball.
Sister! Oh, I am so pleased you were able to come.
As if I would allow dear Augie to miss out on watching his mother win this little family tradition. 2nd year in a row, if I might add.
Charming words from a duchess.
A duchess who is still a Bridgerton.
We kind of get to delve a little bit deeper into our history as a family, and lots of sort of frailty and vulnerability, and I really enjoyed working with Johnny. I think he's an extraordinary actor, and I cherished those moments, really.
Which one is your pick, my lord? Meet her.
Nectar. Well-bred, highly trained, and well-favoured.
Nectar, really.
Yes. I have a feeling about him.
A feeling.
I think our approach to intimacy on the show really remains the same, and that is we've never done a sex scene for the sake of doing a sex scene, and we never will. It's really about these intimate scenes telling a larger story, and they're there for a larger purpose narratively. And this season is incredibly sexy with all the longing looks and the finger touches and the hand grazes. And I think what we talked about in the writer's room a lot is it's the things that sometimes you don't see that are a lot more sexier than the things that you actually do.
He's quite funny.
A good thing, I suppose.
Intelligent, too.
I would have not expected otherwise.
And the conversation. There were no awkward pauses. Really, no truly disastrous lulls.
What did you talk about?
I was convinced my poor showing on the Pall Mall field left the Viscount feeling indifferent. But he asked me questions about myself, about our family. He was interested in everything I had to say, Didi.
At a certain point in this season, we have the Pall Mall sequence, which is this really competitive game of basically this croquet game that happens between the Bridgertons and the Sharmas. We just set up the cameras and let our actors play and improvise a lot of those, a lot of those lines and a lot of the actual play of that game. I think there was one point during a fencing scene that Jonathan Bailey talks about where I think his trousers ripped at a certain point. But I'll leave that story for Jonathan to tell. I think that was probably maybe the most disastrous thing that happened.
When you're invisible, you can have all of the amusement you want without any of the expectations popularity brings. It frees you.
Do you think that is why Whistledown remains anonymous?
Perhaps.
Do you think that is why Cressida is so cruel?
No. I think she just wears her hair too tight.
It was doubly difficult this season because we shot the show in the middle of the pandemic, and that took us really thinking creatively about how to bring the magic of season 1 back for season 2. And in those larger ballroom scenes where you see 400 people at times. You know, we just couldn't do that the second season. So we relied on visual effects and some really smart key visual effects in order to make it seem like those rooms are just full of dancers and lords and ladies, when in reality, there's nowhere nearly as many people as in reality.
Although it had gone sort of bonkers in terms of the world of Bridgerton, we had all been sort of locked in our own houses. You know that our industry had taken quite a hammering, so I think we were just really grateful not only to be working, but also to be amongst friends and to actually have a kind of a community. I think going back into filming again was the most I'd seen anyone.
It was, you know, a bit restricting and challenging at times with these visors on and being tested all the time and, you know, putting your social life on pause for 8 months so that you didn't catch it. But also it was equally pretty exciting to come back.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks.